center field. Back toward the track. And that ball is gone.
You are listening to the North Shore 9 podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, make sure to watch NS9 Live every Thursday on Twitch and help support by becoming a patron. Let's go Bucks!
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to North Shore 9 Live. I am Jim Rosati, Northside Notch. With me is Tyler Wagner to Hopeless. Tyler, Pirates just got done with a 2-0 loss. Shane Bieber just absolutely dominated them.
Yeah.
How about that? How about that game? It was pretty rough to watch, wasn't it?
I think that might have been the first game I watched all 9 innings of, because I'm usually shutting it off at some point.
It was actually pretty incredible because I feel like we were dominated really the whole
game. Me and Denardo were talking about that before when your internet decided they want to take a poo-poo.
Yeah, so I mean it was 2, but it was only 2-0, you know?
Yeah. Like there's no reason that the Pirates should have been in that baseball game. The only reason they're in that baseball game is because baseball is a weird sport. That's it.
Baseball is a weird sport. Indians stranded a ton of runners.
Yeah.
That was really my first. Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't even think Bieber looked that good tonight.
He struck out, 11?
I think I can strike out 5 right now.
You could probably strike out Josh Bell with the way he's swinging the bat.
Oh, boy. That's a different story for a little later.
Yeah, Josh Bell, 2 strikeouts. Osuna goes down 3 times. That last at bat by Osuna was just absolutely dreadful. That was really the first time I really watched an entire Shane Bieber start.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, like you mentioned, he gave up 6 hits in 6 innings, so it's not like we weren't getting good at bats off of him. But yeah, you look down the stat line: 0 walks, 11 strikeouts.
That's pretty much in line with what everyone else has done to the Pirates.
Yeah. No, you're right. But I mean, that's also what he's done all year. So he's been putting up outings like that all year against everybody.
I'm not hating on Bieber. It's just more of I don't think he was at his best tonight. Like this was the night they could have probably got him.
Well, I mean, you look at it, he wasn't as efficient as he usually was. So he only went 6 innings, so he probably could have gone a little bit longer.
I mean, you got to pull him for ollies sometimes.
That's true. That is true. The loogie, how about Oliver Perez though? Like, so he's been in the news quite a bit this past week because he if you don't know the police act, Clevenger situation,
right?
Oliver Perez threatening to opt out if they remain on the team. It's pretty crazy that the crafty veteran Oliver Perez
still hanging around.
I mean, how old is he now? He's got to be
39.
Jeez, 39. That just goes to show you that like if you're left-handed and you can throw strikes, you can just pitch forever.
God, I wish my dad would have actually trained me to throw baseball. I'd probably be throwing in the majors rather than talking to YouTube bums.
Probably.
I would have been pumping 95, natural born athlete. You know how it goes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I basically was Josh Ruga before Josh Ruga.
Right, yeah. No, you might as well put him on the mound right now, honestly.
That's not a joke either. Like they have guys coming out of the bullpen right now that I'm like, who the hell is that guy?
Who's the guy from yesterday? Taylor Bachelor or whatever. Like, that it's bad when you're picking up waived, DFA'd Mets relievers. The Mets who had the worst bullpen in the history of baseball. He's not even good enough to make that. So Pirates pitching staff is in rough shape. I think I saw something where they've already used like 24 pitchers this year. I gotta imagine they're gonna hit 30 pitchers this year.
I've been in and out of a lot of the Pirates reliever options, up and down. Today, for some reason, I was wondering, you know what? I wonder whatever happened to that Brandon Waddell guy. Waddell.
Yeah.
And then I was just tuning in what day was it? Yesterday, his first start. How long ago was it that he?
You
or
talking
his
about Brandon
first
Waddell?
appearance?
So
Yes, him.
his first appearance was against the Reds earlier.
So I missed that.
Okay.
Because tonight was the second.
Yeah, and he goes in tonight, pitches 2 strong scoreless innings. Yeah.
Well, I was like, I guess he's still on the team. That's where I'm at with Pirates relievers at this point.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, they're just throwing everybody out there. The bullpen looked good today, though. I mean, five innings, no earned runs. So they pitched fine. And you even look yesterday, they did good too. To a point. until like they had to. Well, actually, it wasn't yesterday. It was the game before. Yesterday was
it's fine. Start. It's fine when you look at the ERA. It's not fine when you think about them letting bases loaded like continuously and somehow Josh Bell can't throw a baseball.
Gosh. Yeah, so I want to talk about a couple of things I wanted to talk about tonight's game. First off, let's go ahead and let's start with that.
Yeah.
What is wrong with him? Like, what is wrong with Josh Bell in that? I mean, this guy's a professional baseball player.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's how he throws the ball.
Yeah.
He can't throw a baseball. Yeah, he's a professional baseball player.
I would love to be in on that meeting in spring training when the new coaching staff got together and decided, you know what might fix Josh Bell's throwing? Let's have him throw submarine style.
It's like
everybody in that office somehow agreed with that.
They probably had Kenta Colvey in there. Kenta Colvey was like, I love this idea. I'll teach him. I'll take the reins.
Somebody at some point was like, you know what? Let's just have him throw submarine. Because I was talking to Donardo earlier before when, once again, your Wi-Fi went poo-poo. Kentucky Wi-Fi.
That's what it is. Rolling blackouts.
Just watching him throw the ball around the diamond, I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Why is he throwing like that? And then Donardo brought up a point that Hammer and Hank mentioned like last week, that Bell hadn't thrown the ball at all this year, like in a game.
In a game, yeah.
Yeah. And then start paying attention to it and watching him like after he catches off first and throwing around the diamond. Who taught him that?
I'm with you. I don't like, whose idea was this? Like, to be like, you know what? This is how I'm going to throw.
Someone just dug way too deep into John Lester throwing the bounce pass and was like, you know what? Let's just go submarine style. That'll work.
Yeah. It's the ugliest throw I've ever seen in baseball. We've had some really bad first basemen over the years. Like, for some reason in the past 2 decades, we haven't been able to find a first baseman who can throw the ball to second base, but none of them were as bad or are as bad as this. That was the worst throw I've ever seen a professional baseball player make. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, the worst throw I've ever seen someone make.
I watched Pedro Alvarez throw a lot of baseballs.
But the thing with Pedro is it looked normal. It was a normal looking throw. It would just sometimes airmail on him a lot. But no, this throw, I just don't. There's a reason why people don't throw like that. It's not the best way to throw a ball. Especially
when you've never done it before.
Yeah.
Like, when guys throw like that, when their arms are hurt.
Yep.
And they don't have anything left in their shoulder. This guy's it's not there mentally. You can see it at the plate. You see it in the field. You see it when he throws.
Something's not there because he's, like you mentioned, his plate appearances too. Like, he's totally
what
changed.
What the hell was that?
I don't know what that was.
He looked like a meth addict. Like, he was twitch, leg kick, swing.
Yeah, it was not. It's with Bell, Reynolds, and Frazier basically just being completely inept. It's really caused problems for this offense. I mean, those are 3 guys that they needed, that they rely on, and none of them are really performing at all.
Are they going to hit 200 as a team by the end of the year?
I mean, they're there right now, but
are they?
Yeah, they've got to be. But no, it's
someone
rough.
fact check that because I don't know.
It's rough, man. And so along the lines of that, Jacob Stallings today, 2 more hits. I tweeted it out earlier, and I was like, "Is Jacob Stallings?" But Jacob Stallings, 289 batting average, 373 on base percentage.
He's literally Chris Stewart.
But like, is he the best player on this team? Is he the best player on the team right now?
I don't know about best player on the team, but he's probably the best Stallings to ever come through Pittsburgh.
Okay, I think that's a no doubter. Like, that's a no doubter. But
at some point, it was doubtful.
But like, honestly, like, that's a legit question. Is Jacob Stallings the best 2020 Pittsburgh Pirate?
I think I still got to give it to either Moran or God, who has sucked?
Gonzalez.
Yeah, but I'm still sour on the worst baseball player I think I've seen in my life tonight.
All right, so apparently the Pirates are hitting 211 on the year. 211 on the year.
How?
Because of Eric Gonzalez. Eric Gonzalez and Phillip Evans, I'm sure, helped that out a lot.
God, that's the bad part. Like, there's nothing on that team right now that I want to watch. There's not, like, just for my own sanity, call up Brian Hayes. I don't care about his service time. Just call him up because I don't have this in me to keep watching. No,
I'm actually with you, and I've talked about this before too. I'm totally on board with calling up Hayes. I'm not. I don't think you call up O'Neal Cruz yet.
Oh God, no.
But I think Brian Hayes, that guy's 23, so it's not like service time is that big of an issue. I'm not too concerned.
We're talking about him being 30 by the time he's a free agent.
Exactly. So it's not like we're bringing this guy up when he's 21,
and he's not playing right now. Let him get better.
So, as I said, I'm completely fine with calling Hayes up and just giving him at bats. Like, if we're gonna suck, let's suck with players that you kind of want to look at. You kind of want to look at, right?
Yeah. Please don't make me watch Gerard Dyson play baseball ever again.
Yeah, and then so that was my argument before with Jared Oliva. Like,
yeah,
I don't think Jared Oliva has a future with this team.
But I don't care.
Right,
like, my opinion doesn't matter. Let me find out. Let everyone find out if they're good or not. There's no reason to play Gerard Dyson. There was never a reason to play Guillermo Heredia. Give me all the quad A players you can come up with for all I care.
Yeah, no, I'm on board with those two. I'm on board, honestly, with Will Craig now. Bring him up.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? So Will Craig.
What's the worst
Oliva,
that happens?
Hayes.
He hits really well. And
or
then
the worst thing that could happen, he hits 200. Well, that's what Josh Bell is doing. Like, that's what everybody else is doing. So, like,
there's literally a DH this year.
Right.
Are you worried about
there's a DH
roster spots?
There's a DH and DH, and
how
we're
many
putting
guys
out
that
Dyson and JT Riddle are starting baseball games.
Hey, JT Riddle walks up to Cody Jinks, so I kind of like him.
So that's really all I have for today's game.
Trevor Williams, he didn't look good.
Well, I mean, the issue with Williams, he only gave up 1 run, but you got to go, especially with his bullpen. You've got to go more than 4 innings. Like, you just have to.
I don't know. Williams might be the antithesis. Whoa, big word for me. Of the new age baseball, where he's not a guy that needs to be up in the zone ever. The guy throws 91. Up and in is going to get hammered off him. He's a changeup down, sinker ball down, phone down kind of guy. And
his fastball, he's at 91.4 this year. Yeah.
He sat at 91 tonight.
He is throwing it less this year than he was, in previous years.
Yeah, but his
slider usage is up.
Slider's terrible. Yeah, slider's terrible though. If he throws the slider more, it's terrible. I'm sure you're going to tell me the batting average.
Well,
is
no,
low
I mean,
against it.
I'm looking at everything here, and when it comes to like from like a movement standpoint,
It's not good.
He is a very all of his pitches are below average.
Yes,
Across
he is
the
a
board.
guy that needs to dance through raindrops, get low contact, and somehow pull whatever he can out of his butt.
Mm-hmm. Which he's been able to do. I mean, so
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the
I just need to
actual
be a trade
numbers,
piece. That's it. Just be a trade piece.
And honestly, this year, with there being no sellers,
Right.
you know, Trevor Williams could be an attractive 5th starter for someone looking for a playoff spot.
Oh God, that team's in a bad spot if that's the case. But then again,
I think Trevor Williams is a perfectly capable 4th or 5th starter in the major leagues. You look at pitchers out there. I mean, yeah, there's some good ones, but there's some bad ones too.
The problem is that the Pirates have a lot of perfectly capable 5th starters, which means they're not very good.
No, so that's the issue with the Pirates. Yeah, they have a lot of guys who are 3 through 5 starters. That's their rotation.
We get it. They're not supposed to be good this year. I know. But my God, can we get some glimpse of hope for the future?
Right, which brings it back to the point that you made. Let's call up these kids who we can at least have something to look forward to on a nightly basis. You know, like you look at the Pirates lineup when they come out. Like, I don't want to watch Gerard Dyson and JT Riddle. I don't want to watch them anymore. I don't want to watch Jose Osuna anymore.
No.
I've seen Jose Osuna be the exact same guy for 4 years now. I don't need to see anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why if Jose Osuna is playing, why not play Will Craig? They're the same guy,
exactly.
Probably, you know?
Yeah.
So
probably same age too.
I'm all yeah, right. I'm all in on that. Like, just call up the guys who we haven't seen before. At least make it so that, you know, we have a reason to watch the games. I even saw something. I think the Pirates local TV ratings are down like 25% this year. Like no one cares. You know, and I don't know if calling up those guys would help that at all.
Probably
but
not.
What it would do is probably at least help the people like us who are still too dumb to give up on this team, right?
I know,
it would keep us involved.
The other part of it is they're literally not playing right now.
Yeah, and they're doing intra-squad scrimmages and stuff like that, simulated games, right?
It's different if in a regular season, if you want to keep them down, like a AA, AAA guy down, let him work on some stuff in the minor leagues. That's completely understandable right now.
Yep.
They're not playing. Let them play.
No,
they are in the perfect position to let the young guys play and figure out who is not good.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Instead, we got Cole Tucker playing the outfield when he's your best shortstop. And me and Denardo decided to argue about that a few weeks ago because he's an idiot.
I'm fine with Cole Tucker getting some time out. Like, I'd rather see Cole Tucker out there than Heredia or Dyson.
Well, yeah, but I'd rather see Cole Tucker playing shortstop where it's his best defensive position where he can focus on just hitting because that's the one thing he really, really needs to work on.
I don't know. I'm fine with moving him around. I'm cool with that, especially this year.
I think he's terrible, but once again, I'm not a scout. I'm not a future teller. I don't know.
Unless he develops some power.
He's got
the only way he's going to be a major leaguer is if he becomes like that super utility guy. So
yeah,
I'm fine with it.
But I think, well, I don't want to go back on a 2 week ago conversation, but
yeah, we've spent some time on that. So something happened earlier this week in the Padres game. Padres Rangers.
A lot of things happened this week.
There's been a lot of talk this week about unwritten rules in baseball. So let's move away. We talked about the Pirates game. Let's talk about unwritten rules in baseball. Fernando Tatis Jr. 3-0 count. What was it? 9-0 a 9-3, 10 to
10-3.
3 ball game.
10-3, yeah.
3-0 count. And it wasn't even like a meatball. Juan Nicasio throws a low and away heater. Tatis just drives it to right center field, takes it out. Grand slam. Me personally, I loved it. I was watching it live. I was sitting right over there on my sofa, and I was like, God, this kid's fun to watch, right? I didn't even think at the time of any sort of unwritten rule. Like, I was watching this live, and I'm like, that was fun. Like, that was awesome. And it wasn't until a little bit later, right, when the next pitch went behind Machado's back, and you get all this talk now, and it's like, are you serious right now? Like, this is what we're upset about? Like, we just watched something incredible happen, and you're going to say that he should have just taken the pitch. So, what are your thoughts on that particular unwritten rule? We'll go through a bunch of other ones, but
yeah,
the 3-0 take when you're up by 7 runs in the 8th inning.
Didn't someone just come back from 7 runs down today? Or
It happens all the time.
It literally happened either yesterday or today. I don't remember.
No, I don't know if it happened today.
I think it happened yesterday because I saw it on Twitter. It was a big thing to say it was a 7-run lead, and then they won. I think
I'm looking at the Phillies Blue Jays win probability chart. That's what it is.
Jays.
Yeah. Yep.
What was the inning?
It looks like it was in the. It looks like it was a combination of the 6th and the 7th. But yeah, no, that's exactly right.
So my thoughts on the unwritten rules, for the most part, are when it comes to sportsmanship and those unwritten rules, I don't like those ones. I don't like.
And we'll get into those, I guess, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, we're talking about a 7-run lead. This year is special. Like, nobody has arms. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of. You can't tell a guy who is hot to take a pitch off or taking a bat off. Because then we're talking about, well, he strikes out here, he strikes out. Baseball's weird. You start going downhill, you go downhill quick. You can't tell a guy to take at-bats off. Now, it's completely different, in my opinion, if we're talking about like a 10-run lead in the 9th and you're stealing bases just to pad your stats. These are two different things. 3-0 count, young player. I don't care if he's young or not, actually. Just let the kid swing the bat. I mean, I get why old heads are mad, but who's he hurting?
Right. And so this is the thing, like, that this is one of my biggest, I mean, I have a lot of problems with just baseball in general, like the game, right? You see these guys in other sports where, they're having fun out there, there's personalities involved. And like when you get that, you don't get that in baseball a lot, right? Especially for the longest time, it was like, the ideal baseball player just goes out there and does his business, and you don't really notice him, and he goes out there and just he plays every day, right? Cal Ripken.
What happened?
Guys,
that's how I end up. That's how I end up watching Josh Harrison get defended for getting out of rundowns where he's an idiot and runs in circles.
So like for years and years, this is what we're told, like the ideal baseball player does, right? And you finally get these young guys in the league who they're just flat out fun to watch. Like when I was a kid, like I would watch baseball and they were fun games, but like there weren't a ton of people where it was like, oh man, I really like that guy. Like he's just awesome. And I mean, there were a few, like you had like Griffey, right? Where I mean, Griffey was, I mean, everybody loved Griffey. So you had a couple, but like when you get that guy in baseball, like you let the guy have fun. Like let him be himself. Let him have fun, because those are the types of players that especially younger generations and younger people are going to flock to and gravitate to and want to watch your sport. Like no one wants to watch Juan Nicasio pitch and throw a 3-0 fastball down the middle that's taken. Like that's not exciting. What's exciting is Fernando Tatis hitting dingers, like that's what's exciting. So that's just my problem. And I saw it was a tweet that I saw that morning, and it was so true, because like I feel like other sports don't have this problem, right? Like they allow
hockey's probably the other one that has a similar-ish problem.
Mm-hmm. So, but like I saw this tweet, and I'm just like, this is so true. And it was like, anytime I see stupid stuff like this in baseball, I hope the other sports don't see it. Like, it's almost embarrassing to be like, oh my God, here we go again. Something stupid that people are complaining about in baseball. Right. So that, I just I know DiNardo talked a lot about it yesterday morning, but I wanted to share my thoughts on it. I'm sure everybody saw my Twitter rant. I got Twitter banned for 12 hours
because Eric Hosmer.
Yeah,
it was the one guy who is literally allergic to home runs.
It was either Eric Hosmer, or there was some guy too who said something about Eric Hosmer's a true leader.
But there's nothing worse than to play the game the right way type of people.
No, it annoys me.
There's the right way to play the game is to win.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's to win.
What are we doing here?
Yep. I'm with you.
We're not talking about just padding stats to pad stats. Like that actually, those people drive me nuts when we got like stolen bases in like a 10-0 game or dumb stuff like that.
So that's something that I can kind of like. I'm typically a very anti-unwritten rule guy. I can agree with that. Like, if you like, don't go from first to home on a
what's the worst that happens? You get thrown out.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm with you there. But in this case, you're competing every time you're up there. The person on the mound is
especially
competing.
At the plate.
Yep.
Like what are you supposed to do? The guy is trying to get you out. It's not like there's a position player on the mound. If there's a position player on the mound and it's 3-0, I don't know. Actually, you probably want to swing more because you don't want to make the guy keep throwing.
Yeah. Put him out of his misery.
You probably don't want to ever go to 3-0 against a position player. So, and this is a real life major league pitcher.
And like a decent one. Like, Juan Nicasio is a fine relief pitcher.
And the other part of it is it's a 60-game season.
Mm-hmm.
This kid's going to have arbitration years at some point.
Yep.
Every stat's going to matter for him.
Yeah. And someone actually mentioned that exact same thing. It was like one of my favorite stories in baseball is during arbitration hearings when players win because they play the game the right way.
It's so stupid.
That's not what happens. Like they get paid more because of their stats and their numbers. So no, I'm with you there. I think we're both on the same page in that particular instance.
If I am him and my manager says stuff like that about me, I would want to be on the quickest plane out of that team.
I think that's what upset me more than anything was the manager.
You gotta have your dude's back.
Yep.
I don't care if you think he's right, wrong, or indifferent. You have to have his back.
Yep. Especially when it's like he's your team leader. He's your team leader. Like he's the MVP of your team. He's maybe the MVP of the league. You don't throw him under the bus.
Yeah, you can rip him behind closed doors all you want, but when you go to the media, you better have his back.
Oh, I agree.
It's frustrating. That's why baseball's dying. That's it. That's why we're gonna have a dead sport.
So let's go over some other quote unquote unwritten rules, right? I want your thoughts on these. So I looked up MLB.com, actually, of all places. MLB.com.
Thank God you have them. I sent you a few, but I didn't know which ones you want to talk about.
MLB.com had an article earlier this week, obviously right after the Tatis stuff, where they wrote down some of the unwritten rules. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk at a couple here. All right.
Yeah.
Here's one. Don't swing at the first pitch after the pitcher has allowed back-to-back home runs.
Dumb. What am I trying to coddle his feelings?
I agree with you. Yeah, that's dumb.
No, I'm trying to get on base. My paycheck depends on me getting on base.
It's a competition. If a pitcher is struggling, that's his fault. It's not your fault.
Now, I would love to know who came up with that unwritten rule.
Yeah, I
They're an idiot.
I don't even know that one really. So,
That I don't like. There's the rule like if your first two guys get out on like one pitch apiece, yeah, you take a pitch. That's just to make the pitcher work.
Right.
That's completely different.
Yeah. So let's all right, how about this one? Because this I'm curious in your thoughts on here. Don't show up your opponent. So by this I mean,
Dumb.
You hit a home run, you flip your bat, you're trotting
the hell
around
out of the bat.
Yeah. What about that?
Flip the bat into the other dugout for all I care. However, I like violence, so if the next guy gets one thrown behind his back,
okay, so that's another unwritten rule here. That's another unwritten rule that we'll get to.
I'm okay with it.
So I'm all for showing up your opponent. I'm fine with that. Again, we're not like these are grown men who get paid to be athletes and competitive. If somebody hits a home run, they deserve to take that bat and throw it into the stands if they want to. You know what? If you don't want him to do that, then get him out.
Yeah, but I'm fine with that. I'm also fine with them throwing one behind your back the next time.
All right. So
I've noticed I said back, not head.
So okay. So let's talk about that one. Throwing at hitters is the conventional retaliation.
That's fine. Come in high spikes. Chase Utley comes in, takes out a leg. What was his name? Chris Coughlin comes in, destroys Jung Ho Gung's knee.
So
he would have wore one right in the back.
So this is where
I'm okay with it.
This is where I'm against. We're going to disagree on this one.
Don't care. Hit him.
And honestly, it just has to do with if you hit somebody, this baseball pitchers can throw the ball 95 miles an hour on average, right?
I wouldn't hit him at 95. I'd take a few off, maybe just give him a little one in the middle of the back, let him know you're there.
And the other thing too, not all these guys are good enough to just put one on the guy's backside, right?
Throw him a change up in the middle of the back.
They may miss and hit him in the hands, or I remember that. Do you remember that Pirates Diamondback series?
Yes, I was thinking about that. Because Ernesto Frieri decided he wanted to hit Paul Goldschmidt in the middle in the hand.
There you go. So, and this is one where the Pirates were dealing out the punishment, and they threw at Paul Goldschmidt because Andy.
I don't know if they threw at him.
They were throwing at him. They were throwing at him.
No.
They were throwing at him.
No. Ernesto Frieri had no idea where that ball was going because he was a terrible reliever. So,
but here's the thing: by throwing a ball in the general vicinity of a hitter, there is a good probability, there's a chance that hitter can get hurt, and that is just, it's not good for the game. Paul Goldschmidt playing every day is good for baseball. Paul Goldschmidt being out for 3 months because you broke his hand because you're being an idiot, that's not good. And I actually really
wasn't being an idiot. He was just inside.
What I really liked about this Tatis thing was that Chris Woodward got suspended and the pitcher who threw behind Machado got suspended, because honestly, that's an unwritten rule that just, it has no part in today's game. I want to watch these players play. I want to see them on the field. And by hitting somebody, you're putting them in a position where they may not be on the field for the foreseeable future. And that's not what I'm paying to do. If, let's say, Manny Machado would have gotten hit on that pitch, broke his hand, out for the year. Right. But it happens. It happens every once in a while. It does. So, but that would have been really bad for the Padres. It would have been bad for baseball. I'm totally against that.
Would it have been bad for baseball, because then we would have had a brawl, and then all the eyeballs would have been on baseball.
It would have been super short term, right? But I think
the Padres, they would have all shoved each other a little bit.
The Padres being good and being a fun team to watch is good for baseball.
However,
baseball needs more fun teams.
I'm telling you, going back to the Goldschmidt thing, the Pirates had Goldschmidt first just because Ernesto Frieri could not throw a strike. And then they came back in the ninth inning of the next game and hit McCutcheon like a bunch of little B words in the middle of the back, and then he broke his rib the next day. And all hell broke loose.
Yeah, I mean, so
and then Bob Wall called him a bunch of snakes.
And I mean, that affected Andrew McCutcheon's whole season, right?
He had
so
like
that's
314.
but that's one of the things where like I just don't want to see it. I don't have any. I don't want to watch that. Like I want to see the best players on the field as often as they can, and I don't want them to be put in a position where they may have to miss months of the year, all because of some stupid unwritten rule.
Well, hit him in the butt then.
Pitchers aren't that good.
Well, then they shouldn't be in the major leagues, because like when Archimedes Camanero's on the mound and he's hitting 3 guys in the head, someone on your team is going to get hit. When Aroldis Chapman's hitting Andrew McCutcheon almost in the head, Shin-Soo Choo's going to get hit in the knee by Charlie Morton the next day. I know those are two. Well,
No,
Choo got
I
hit the next year.
I know, but that's one that I completely disagree with.
Oh, I'm fine with
it.
it.
I think the way you get back at a team is you get them out, you beat them,
or
that's it.
Or you pull a Charlie Morton, you hit Shin-Soo Choo in the knee, have Matt Latos yell at you, and then you turn a double play the next pitch. And then in my world, you flip them off.
There you go.
That's how I like to do it.
All right, how about this one? This one actually, I didn't really think of it. Like, I mean, I know it happens, right? But if you're on the mound and you get pulled in the middle of the inning, you stay in the dugout till the end of the inning.
I think they should stay in the dugout for the rest of the game. I don't know why you would leave the dugout.
Well, they go through and they get ice on their shoulder and all that stuff.
Oh my God, you have all night. They're fine.
So you're saying you stay in the dugout the whole game, not just end of the inning?
They got to hang out in the bullpen all game.
I actually like this rule. I kind of like it that, hey, you know what? I wasn't able to finish the inning, so I need to stay here and watch this person kind of do the job that I couldn't and try to support him. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that rule.
You can't just put your feet up and be like, oh, my job's done. Goodbye.
Right. No, I like that one. Here's one that I didn't even really think of either. So a lot of these are kind of, I didn't realize. But I mean, and you don't really get to know this rule, I guess, until you're playing in big stadiums. Because, I mean, when growing up, playing in high school, you know, you'd have a batter's box that, you know, there was no backstop really. So you just walk to your spot there. But don't walk in front of the catcher. So say if you're...
Don't do it.
So you're walking behind.
Nah, you walk behind all the time. That should be a habit by everybody.
See, so I would say, though, like back when I was in Little League or in high school, and there's like literally no room behind the umpire, I didn't do that. Nor did I watch anybody else do that.
Well, that was with a short backstop. We're talking about Major League Baseball.
So that's what I mean. So it's not
you
really
walk
a
behind
rule.
them.
Yeah, it's not really a rule that.
But if you walk in front of them, it's a problem. It's one of those archaic things that everybody just kind of does. It is.
I get it, because I mean, like looking now, that happens all the time. You walk behind the umpire if you're going to the opposite end of the plate.
You say hello to the ump. You say hello to the catcher. You tell the catcher that you banged his girlfriend the night before, and you move on.
There you go. No, so I like that one. How about, all right, let's go into the no-hitter world.
Oh boy.
I'm not even going to talk about don't talk about a no-hitter. I think that's just stupid.
That's dumb.
But
do whatever you want.
Let's talk about no bunting late in the game of a no-hitter.
What's the score?
I guess that would make okay. So does that change it? So let's say it's 2-0 in the 8th inning of a no-hitter.
Go ahead and bunt.
What if it's 6-0?
Don't bunt. Don't bunt. If you bunt,
what's the cutoff? Is it 6? Is 6 the cutoff?
No, I think it's 2 or 3.
2 or 3 is the cutoff. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to disagree on this one. And again, it goes back to.
Didn't you go show the Jose Tabata leaning into the pitch?
I love it.
I was late in my apartment that day. I watched him lean in that pitch. I'm like, oh God, that's not going to go well.
Great moment in sports history.
See, my thoughts immediately went to, McCutcheon's going to wear one right in the head.
So the thing with this, though, is it goes back to what we talked about before. It's the job of the hitter to get on base. Like, that is their job. If bunting is going to allow them to do that, I'm fine with it.
I'm not. If it's a blowout, I'm not. I'm really. If you can't hit the guy, like if I'm at bat, I'm not thinking, well, I'm gonna break up this no hitter with a bunt. I'm just gonna ruin this guy's day. I want to actually get a hit. If you're doing it that way, you're kind of a dick. Which I do like people that are dicks, but
there you go. I know that's why I'm a little surprised at your answer here.
No, I don't like it. I don't.
All right. Well, I think that's all I got for those unwritten rules.
It depends on the inning as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is late in the game, so like 8th or 9th.
Late in the game, yeah. Even 7th,
All right. We do have one question. It looks like, do you think the Pirates will win 10 games?
Oh God,
10 games. So right
we
now,
have 4.
Right now, the Pittsburgh Pirates are. So they just hit the quarter mark of the season.
There are 4.
They are 4-16. So actually, they're at the 1/3 mark. 20 games played in a 60-game season. 4-16. They're on pace for 12. So do they win 10?
They have to. I mean, they're going to get lucky enough to win 6 more games.
I agree with you. I think they get there. I actually think I don't think they're actually this bad either.
I do.
I
think they're worse.
I think they're bad. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, they're not good, but I don't think they're like worst team in the history of baseball bad. So
I don't know.
I think at some point, like, they're going to go through a stretch where they reel off like 4 wins in a row.
There's not a guy on that team that can carry that baseball club for at least 5 to 6 games.
Here's the thing, though. We've seen it in the past. I mean, Josh Bell, we've seen it. Now we know that he's completely lost right now.
If Josh Bell I've seen for a year now, basically.
If Josh Bell finds his swing for a 2-week span, then we could win some games. I have
no faith that he will.
I'm going to say at this point, if we're on pace for 12, I'm going to say we win.
Pace for 12. Good Lord.
So bad. So bad. I'm going to say they win another. I think they win 18 games this year.
I think they might pull 12 out because this is
so
literally the worst
8-32 team. 8-32 the rest of the way.
Okay,
is what you're saying?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Jeez,
I'm trying to think of the worst baseball teams I've witnessed in my life.
There's been some bad ones,
and they look like a little league team every time I watch them.
See, I'm just thinking at some point, at some point, the bats have to wake up a little bit. Like, I'm not saying they have to light the world on fire, but
I don't know.
At some point,
they got
Adam Frazier's not going to bat 175 this year.
Yeah, but Eric Gonzalez isn't going to hit 300.
You look at the batted ball data. Yeah, you looking at that batted ball data?
He's not going to hit 100. Colin Moran is done hitting home runs.
So he's not going to get that over 10 that we talked about.
Kevin Newman is
on a 9-game hitting streak.
He is woo. He
9-game hitting streak.
Single,
Tyler.
Single, infield single. He's
hitting 292.
Who the hell is going to drive him in? They are averaging 1 run a game, it feels like.
Their expected batting average today, by the way. So expected batting average based on exit velocity and launch angle. 132 was their expected batting average 50. Today. 132. And somehow they squeaked out 7 hits.
Because Jacob Stallings decided he was going to punch and Judy his way to a few hits.
True. It's true, though. And Kevin Newman. Kevin Newman had a hit today where it had an exit velocity of 48 miles an hour and a launch angle of negative 47 degrees.
This, what does that extrapolate to for a whole season if they have 12 wins? Math is hard.
Oh, so if they go 12 and 48.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
They win 12 out of 60. That's a 200 winning percentage. Over 162 games. That would be 32. They would be 32 and 130.
Okay. But it's such a small sample size that I could see it actually happening.
Yeah.
See, that's why I think they would have to catch a little bit of fire.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
In a real season.
Yeah, at some point, and I know we're a third of the way through here already, so you got to think about that. At some point, though, like
thank God.
At some point, the bats are all going to wake up at the same time, and I think they're going to roll off like 4 wins in a row, and that'll put them onto that 18-win streak. So they'll get to 18. That's what I'm saying.
I wish baseball would have. I really wish they would have just done. Screw the regular season. Let's just do a tournament.
You wouldn't last very long in that tournament, I don't think either.
I know, but I would want to watch.
What if it was how basketball, where is it like an 11-month playoff? That's what they should have done. Just had the whole playoffs.
Something to make me want to watch this team right now, because I have no reason to. Other than this podcast, I have no reason to want to watch them right now.
They have not been fun to watch. I'll say that. There's not really a single person on this team that is fun to watch.
When Phillip Evans went down, I was done. Hate it. I need something.
Well, the thing is too, is honestly, and I really hope that baseball doesn't screw the Pirates this year. That would be the most Pirate thing ever, is the Pirates go 12
and they pull a lottery 48, or something.
And they pull a lottery and the Pirates get stuck with the 7th pick. That would be so terrible. If we're gonna I'm fine with sucking and
this is the perfect year to suck.
Yeah, I mean, you look at a team like the Tigers. The Tigers have been bad for 4 years, really bad for 4 years. But they have stacked their farm system, because of that. So it's really it's kind of what it's a tried and true way to build up your organization, is to just suck for a long time.
Problem is that you have to spend money afterwards too.
No, you're right. So I mean, Nationals though, same thing. Sucked for a long time. Got Strasburg, Harper, Rendon, right? Astros sucked. Correa, Bregman, Springer. So you get that. That's how you get that talent into your organization. And hopefully the Pirates are at least, they luck into that first overall pick, because they need to add some impact talent into this organization, because without it, they're gonna have some issues. There's
none right now. I mean, they're boom or bust as it gets.
See, I'm actually thinking and we'll talk about this, but O'Neal Cruz, I think, is a boom or bust guy. I think everybody else is more that high floor, just low ceiling. They're going to be a major leaguer, but they're not going to be a super impactful guy. Brian Hayes is a major league third baseman. He'll be a 2-WAR player if he plays every day. Probably at a minimum, right? He'll be average.
God,
yeah.
If he's 2, you don't need that. Yeah.
No. But I mean, I'm just telling you,
right.
That's probably his minimum. That's his.
But the thing is, when he's your number 2 or 3 prospect, that's a problem.
Oh yeah. So the Pirates have a lot of guys who are like that, though, where they're major leaguers. It's just they're not that impact talent guy that is going to carry a team to the playoffs. but they have a lot of guys who are just solid, is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Painful, man.
No,
I know. I know. We've been through it so many years, and it's been painful for so many years. But having to go back through it, it's tough.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's we went through it for like 19 years at one point, 19 straight years, and then we tasted some success for a bit. It was a lot of fun, and now it looks like we're in for at least a few years of not being good. So
at least,
yeah,
it's not a fun time.
all right. Well, we've been on here about an hour. You got anything else to say?
No, I'm frustrated, but I shouldn't be because we all knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, let's see how the next week goes. See if they can improve upon this 12 win.
Man,
12 win pace.
I just really wanted someone to step up and be a trade piece.
Yeah, and I think the starting pitching hasn't actually been terrible. So they've got some guys there who may interest people, but we'll see. We should probably, in the next week, we should start hearing some actual trade rumors. There's, people just throwing out random stuff right now, but
yeah, I'm sure some people on Twitter will be happy.
But a week from today will be 4 days from the trade deadline. So we should actually have some rumblings at that point. So we'll have some stuff to talk about next week. Yeah, but that's it. That's all I got, Tyler.
Yeah, I after tonight, it's depressing.
All right.
I mean, it's been depressing, but
hey, watch the Padres. They're fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back into my betting.
I'm watching them right now. It's 7-7 in the ninth inning. Texas just homered to tie the game. It's a fun game, so I'm gonna watch that. And there's my boy Nick Solak from Louisville. Tyler, Nick Solak.
Trash school.
All right, well, hey, Sunday there's gonna be a podcast out. Tuesday, DiNardo's dugout. Wednesday, Starbucks. Sorry that we didn't have Starbucks yesterday. I slept in, didn't set my alarm at the right time, so we missed that. And then we'll be back on next Thursday for NSN Live. So that's all I got. Talk to you guys later.
Peace out, Scouts.